Yes, hello friends, welcome to BISP Solutions. Myself Ashwin and I welcome you in this series. And BISP Solutions is a tech company that provides technological solutions across the world. Now, this is our day 15 in this business analysis course, business analyst course, right? Now, so far, just let me open the Excel sheet here. Look at this. So far, we have done so many things, right? How many types of roles are there? Who can become a BA? I recommend you to watch all my previous 14 videos, right? 14 webinars, so that you will get the things clear, right? Now we are moving in our another topic, that is BRD. Now see, when you have learned about that what tools are to be used and what things are done, right? Everything is fine. Now the time comes for practical work. Now whenever a business analyst go to the client, right, that is a discovery meeting. Now in the discovery meeting, or we can say like the requirement gathering meeting, right, there are different terms. Now in this discovery meeting, what will happen, you have to communicate with the client and prepare a BRD. Now BRD means business requirement document. Now see, the backend team right now, it will not work. First you have to as a business analyst, you have to prepare the document of requirement, that is called business requirement document. Now capture what the business needs from the system. The business analyst will first check exactly what you need from the NetSuite, right now here we are talking about end-to-end NetSuite implementation, fine. Now capture what the business needs from the system. Second, acts as a contract between business and implementation team. Now see what happens when these projects are very big projects and there is some costing that company has to bear. So whatever you can give, if you talk about the client point of view, so whatever the client will think, that whatever you will give, it will become a contract, because once the contract is freezed, or we can say the document, business requirement document is freezed, then the another implementation company or the implementation organization, that will never entertain, or there are some modifications can be done, there is a scope, right? It is not mandatory that they will not make any changes, but the client must provide each and every information in BRD only, right? As I have told you earlier also, change management, change requirement document also, right? So there is a scope for everything, there is a flexibility for everything, but the standard practice is to give all your requirements in one attempt. That is what I want to explain you. Okay, now capture what the business needs from the system, acts as a contract between business and implementation team, and third, prepared primarily by the business analyst. Now see what happens, normally business requirement document, if a layman language, if we see business requirement, so the client must give you this document, right? According to the logic, business requirement document, the client must write down on a paper, white paper, and then the client should give you. But the thing is that it is not necessary that in every company all the employees are good in writing skills or documentation skills. Imagine a company that is running smoothly, right? Manufacturing or a rice plant, manufacturing plant, anything. In normal days, every employee is habitual of coming at 10 and sign out at 5-6 p.m. So this documentation skill is not an easy skill. So this prepared primarily by business analyst. So business analyst first take all the requirements in raw state. It will note down first on with the help of pen and pencil on a paper, and then it will prepare a business requirement document. So business analyst must be perfect in documentation skills. That is why, right? Normally every person um, it is not necessary that all the employees are good in documentation skills. So that's why this is a task of business analyst. Second, approved by business stakeholders. Now see, once suppose if I communicate with the client, now client will provide me, okay, all these are our requirements, take this. After that, I will take 1 or 2 days to note down, to organize all the requirements step by step. I will draw the flow charts also. In our previous sessions, we have discussed on this, right? So I will draw the flow charts. I will put down everything, what points are required, everything. Now after that, I will get it approved by the business stakeholders. Now business stakeholders means every that person. This stakeholder also we have discussed in one of our second or third meeting. So business stakeholder means every person which is indirectly or directly connected with the project, right? For example, if a warehouse manager, directly he will not run this NetSuite, but at least he is indirectly connected. So you have to just take the sign off, right, by stakeholders, every person who is directly or indirectly connected with the project. Then project managers also. Now see, project manager, why? Because suppose I am a business analyst and I have to explain this to the business stakeholders that this is what you have told me and I have documented it. Project manager, this is what I have received from the client side. Okay, I will just show it. Project manager sign off will be given by business stakeholders. Third point, functional and technical leads. Why functional and technical leads? Because suppose if they found something which can't be possible either by scripting also or by workflow also, so they can immediately pinpoint that thing. So first of all, I will show the document to the project manager. Second, I will show that document to the functional and technical leads, and finally I will show that document to the stakeholders so that they will give you the sign off. Clear? Okay, because many times it happens that the business analyst, this is transparency, many times what happens, the business analyst take the requirement from the client and just take the sign out, and at the end the technical consultant, they say that whatever you are asking, that is not that is practically possible, it will take too much time, so they suggest the alternative also. So that is why it is very necessary to show the document to the all type of people, stakeholders, project managers and functional technical leads. Why project managers? Because they communicate with the CEO also, right? So whatever the pricing is decided, whatever the timeline is decided, so the requirement should be according to that timeline also. So that's a project manager will also be involved. Now purpose of BRD in ERP or NetSuite project, any type of, see, BRD is also a domain specific. It is not suppose if you are working on in an IT field, then also it's BRD is mandatory. If you are working in ERP field, then also BRD. BRD means every project. For example, if you are a civil engineer and you are going to construct a flyover, then in that case also business requirement will be there, right? The name could be different, right? The name could be different, but the information or the requirement document will be there, will be required. Okay, so BRD in ERP. First of all, now today we are going to discuss only BRD in ERP. Now align business needs with system capability. The thing is that whatever you are requiring, whether the system, it comes under the capability of that system, right? If you are demanding something which is not possible for NetSuite to provide you, in that case that requirement will be rejected. So in this way, align business needs with system capability. Ensure scope is clearly defined. Now see, scope is clearly defined means, see, normally what happens when we communicate verbally with others, now there is a chance of confusion that this thing I have never said or that thing I have never committed. But when you prepare a business requirement document, so in that case there is an option of in scope and out scope. In scope means what we are going to provide you in this complete project. So that is why after the completion of the project, we can ensure that okay, these are the things that we have committed to do, and these were the things that we have already mentioned them will not be provided, right? So ensures scope is clearly defined, helps estimate effort, timeline and cost. See, when you will note down the things on a paper step by step, so you can estimate that timeline and efforts also, right? In daily life also, if you are given some task, right? So normally in daily life we don't write down on the paper, right? We just go on working the task. But in this business level, what we do, we note down all the points one by one, and then it this document ensures that what how much efforts are required, timelines. Now let me give you one example. For example, same in the NetSuite only, the client says that we need near about 25 saved searches, right? And inside that saved searches they are having some complex requirements. Now in this BRD we have to know, put down all their specific requirements also, and also they want that every morning 10 a.m. that saved search should be sent on their email automatically. Now these are the requirement, but how much efforts will be required on this? First of all, you need to create all those complex saved searches, right? Like 25, 27, as many they want. After that you have to put down the emails also, that to which email which saved search should be sent, right? And similarly based on the costing, the time required and the costing. So that is why the BRD ensures that it will help you to estimate efforts, timeline and cost. Because when you will write down the requirement list, so immediately the technical consultant will immediately calculate, okay, I will need 1 week or 2 week to design all those 27 sensors. So on the basis of that, you the project manager and the business analyst, they can estimate the timeline, deadline of that, right? Now see, fourth point becomes the base for fit gap analysis. Fit gap analysis, functional design, so functional requirement document and testing and sign off. Now BRD is the base document, right? Whatever I received from the client in first meeting or the discovery meeting, that is noted down on the paper, and on the basis of that fit gap analysis, all these things will be evaluated, that how many things are directly fit or directly fit. We have already discussed this fit gap analysis in our previous sessions, right? Again, you watch those previous sessions. Now see here, fit gap means directly fit if the things are defined as usual, and secondly, if it's a gap, then you have to provide the alternate solution on it, right? So that is called fit gap analysis. Now functional design document, yeah, definitely functional design document is required in that. Okay, after that testing and sign off. Now testing test case document will also be created for this. I will explain you in one of our upcoming sessions. Okay, now testing document is something like, for example, we have designed and developed the application completely. Now how that application will be tested? Now normally there are so many tools, but here we are talking about UAT, right? Unit test normal, user acceptance testing, right? So normally what we do, we create a Excel sheet, and inside that Excel sheet, requirement number and the description, whatever you will be going to do in order to test the application, right? So testing and sign off, that is why this BRD will be requiring. Just give me a second, yes, I am back. Now testing and sign off. Okay, so fit gap analysis document will be created, functional design document will be created, and testing and sign off. Now I'm going to show you BRD sections by sections structure. Now before that I will show you the standard BRD. Look at this business requirement document, right? We have created one business requirement document. Okay, now just see the structure here. This executive summary, our vision, then project overview, and then you will see here the flowchart also why client wants to switch, project scope, out scope. I will explain each and everything, right? Current and proposed process. Okay, COA structure, accounting period, look at this, currency information, then you will see here O2C, P2P chart. Look at this chart, right? After that, let me show you something more. Data migration process, data parameters, right? Document parameter. Now here I will explain you, just have a look on this document required. Okay, after that, resources, how many resources, limitation of the target system. Okay, and then operating system, browsers, hardware requirements. Okay, and finally contact us. Okay, now I will explain you each and everything, just watch very carefully. Now see here, document control. Now document control, version history, authors, reviewers, date of creation and updates. Now here let me show you this. Here is document control. Now see, document control means date, name and designation, after that reviewers and the approvals. Now this document control, here it is written version history. Okay, version history means this, how many times the document is prepared. Then author, reviewers, date of creation and update. The reason of creation of this document control is that suppose if the deadline is exceeded, let's suppose for example, if the deadline is exceeded, for example it is like 1st of August, it exceeded up to 1st of December, so the business analyst and the business project manager, they will show that okay, these many times the document has been changed. Normally it never happens, but in some cases if the requirement keep on frequently change, because I have seen those projects also where the requirements never get freezed, they keep on updating the document, and similarly in this way the project goes on for 1 year, 2 year, right? Now here also document control is required. Then you will see here executive summary, right? So executive summary, let me show you that. And after this is the table of content, right? This is the mandatory thing, that that everyone should include this, right? Table of content. Then executive summary. Now this executive summary, what this executive summary says: brief overview of the business context and goals, okay, why this project is needed and key outcomes expected. That's it. Again I am repeating, executive summary means first of all brief overview of the business context and goals. First of all, executive summary means what your company is doing and the what another company is doing and what is the need of this, right? Here look at this. They are in IT, consulting and service providing, all this, the company details and what we are going to provide, okay. Brief overview of the business context and goals, what we are doing, why this project is needed for the client and key outcomes expected, right? This is the all about the second point, that is executive summary. Now comes business objectives. Now business objective means what? Business objective means, for example, what exactly they want, quantifiable goals, right? Business objective means, suppose right now let's take an example. Right now there are so many they have detected so many things like frauds in their purchase order P2P process. Why? Because there is no one to approve, there is no the thing like filter that can stop this. They want to reduce that, reduce invoice processing time by 30%, right? Strategy alignment, digital transformation, compliance, all these things. So for example, that is why they are using this NetSuite. So we have to provide them whatever the business objectives. Here it should be project overview, right? Business objective means like we can say project overview also. Business software solution provides business product in different ways and types and schedules. The most important is to motivating factor, cloud based ERP, whatever the requirement they want, right? That is the business objective. So our target is to completely automate their system, right? That's our goal. Strategic alignment means digital transformation, compliances. Strategic alignment, like once you create a sales order, then where it will go, how it will be shown, all these things comes under that, okay. Then stakeholders. Now stakeholders, I have list of stakeholders: business users, subject matter expert and project sponsor. Now here if you see stakeholders, just a second, let me show. Resources. Here resources also involved and the stakeholders will also be involved. Stakeholder means business users, right? Now business user means the client's other person, right? Here I have removed the original company name, but the document is original, okay. So now if you see here, you have to provide the business user, who the business user is, and then SME, subject matter expert, and after that the project sponsor. So this is how you have to write down, you have to note down. Just below this I will write down the resource and the business users, right? Yeah. So the business the stakeholders I will write. Then scope of work, what is in scope, what is out scope, boundaries of the solution. Now see here, limitation of target system, that is fine, and here I will show you the in scope and out scope. Here it is. Now in scope, out scope. Now in this in scope I will explain you one by one. Yes, in scope. Now in scope, what we will do: account, calendar, CO structure, enable currency, all these things we will provide you. In scope shows that what we are going to provide them in phase 1. Suppose it's a very big project, then we will uh, distribute that project, we will break that project into phase 1 and phase 2. Now in this you will see in scope and out scope means here, let me in scope and out scope. Here you will see account, calendar, COA. We will upload the chart of accounts, right? Then we will enable the currency also. You will see here the account standards to create ledgers. We will modify each and everything. We will set up each and everything. Then GL balance migration, import closing trial balances, Y2 date, right? From QuickBooks through spreadsheet, last 2 years only. Here I have written it it is quarter to date, right? Not a PTD, quarter to date. Now import closing trial balance, YTD and QTD, and from QuickBooks through spreadsheet last 2 years. That means we will be migrating the data of the last 2 years, right? And we will bring the data into the balance sheet. Then AP implementation, common basic setups for payables, AP data migration, active metadata of vendors. Okay, last 2 years. That means whatever the vendors data, like whether it could be invoices without PO, it could be open invoices, open PO, anything. AR implementation, active customer details, open transactional details, everything, right? Last 2 years, open sales order and the invoices. Now AR data migration also there, active metadata of customer, open AR transactional data. Financial report implementation, based on the client's requirement, we generate internal reports and external reports that are either balance based or transaction based, right? So in that reporting part, we have to mention each and everything, that how many reports we will hand over you, how many saved searches we will hand over you, how many types of forms, sales order forms we will design, everything in scope. And in phase 2 we will provide the user training and online training, everything. Now out scope. Now see here, out scope means exactly what? Out scope means what we are not going to provide. SCM, CRM, fixed assets, workflow, SCM will not be implemented in NetSuite. Hardware software expense will be bear by the client, and we will not provide any software hardware during the implementation. Suppose if during the implementation, if there is a need of any software, then in that case we will not going to provide. Okay, so these are our commitments. We will put down everything in the out scope, right? So that in future the client will be okay, we both are in the same page. Okay, now hardware expenses will be bear by client, we will not provide software. Okay, licensing and subscription cost and other expense will bear by the client. License, subscription cost and other expense will be bear by the client. Now see what happens. Suppose if a client wants to implement a NetSuite, right? Now what I will do, I will tell them, okay, once your requirement is fulfilled in this prototype, then kindly purchase the subscription of Sandbox and production. So definitely the client has to purchase the license. Now there are some other expenses also, but we have already mentioned in the document that license subscription cost will be incurred by the. Then few times Oracle conducts maintenance on weekends and it might affect your working. This is also needs to be mentioned. Normally it happens very rare. 2 to 3 times in a year maximum, right? Or 4 to 5 times in a year. So that is not a big deal, but you have to mention this to the client also, because many times what happens, if this type of message comes to the client, then client will ask that we were not aware of this. So that is why few times Oracle conducts maintenance, so we have to wait for the maintenance. Then multi-currency adjustment IS 21 clause. Okay, so whatever that we need at the time of changes, or whatever we are going to provide them, we have already written that. What we are not going to provide them, we have also written that. Okay, now let's come to the PPT. Scope of work, what is in scope, what is out scope, boundaries. Boundaries of the solution means limitations of the solution. Okay, then current process as is. Now what is the current process as is? Now see, existing business process flow, tools or system currently in use, manual steps and challenges. So current process, what their current process is going on as is, right? So as is means whatever their current process is going on. Existing business process flow, tools or system currently in use, manual steps, tools, existing business process flow, tools or system currently be in use, manual steps and challenges, right? So we have to follow the existing business. So here you can see existing business process flow, tools or systems currently in use and manual setup steps and challenges. Now proposed process to be. Now let me show you the as is and is as as is and to be. As is means whatever the process is currently in use, and to be means high level process changes expected in the new system, right? High level process changes expected in the new system. Process automation improvements and goals. Okay, and add flow diagrams if possible. So let me show you that also. Look at this. This is what the flow diagram that we are talking about, right? Okay, now again let's come to the PPT. Okay, so proposed process means whatever we are going to propose, and as is means current process. Okay, so as is. Now you will see here proposed process. Now proposed process to be, so high level process changes expected in the new system, process automation improvements and goals, and add flow diagram if possible. Yes, we have already followed all this here. Now detailed business requirement. Detailed business requirement. Now see, detailed business requirement means what? Business requirement we understood. Detailed. Now in this detailed business requirement, it says that numbered list of requirements, functional plus non. Then format, requirement ID, description ID, priority ID and the source ID, right? So far we have learned about, just give me a second. Yes, now detailed business requirement. 8th point is detailed. See here, detailed business requirement. Here is project overview, and here only you have to explain that what are your requirements. Okay, I will show you that here. Look at this. Business requirements, COA should be like this, then project scope, after this project scope, current or proposed process, right? The enterprise structure, reporting, whatever, right? So in this way we define that we can provide the document, right? Detailed business report. So we have to note down all these things: requirement ID, the description, priority, the source, everything. Then comes assumptions and constraints. Now this assumptions and constraint means what? The assumptions means a very simple example: users are trained for training. Constraint: budget limit, timeline, deadline. Okay. So assumptions and constraints. Let me show you that also. Assumptions. There is all the expenses should be bear by the client. That is what assumptions. Look at this. Okay. So assumptions means just don't take it for granted, right? Whatever information given by you will be intact. Related documents will be provided as per the project. Okay, so these are called the assumptions, right? Dependencies: external system data, third party tools, cross departmentals. Now this dependency means it could be any type of dependency. Okay, right? Now dependency: external system data, third party tools, cross department input. Okay, suppose you are running your big bazaar shop, right? Now dependency means third party, external system data, right? Third party tools. Yes. Now dependencies means external systems, data, third party tools, all these things we will be requiring. Then the glossary and definition. Now common business and technical terms, right? Then sign off section. Sign off section means signatures, approval from business and IT lead, date of acceptance. Now let's come to the document. Now I will explain you this complete document from beginning. Yes. See, first of all, what we have done, we have first written the first page, like who are we and for whom the project is being created. Here is version control, right? Document control. Third is table of contents. Fourth is now from here I will explain you. Now executive summary. Executive summary, it first of all it defines that whatever the company, what type of company we are, what type of company the client is. Okay, so everything should be in the executive summary. Our vision means what we are going to do, how we can do it, or just keep it very simple. So what the business analyst, he has to take care of this, right? Our vision. Okay, now next, project overview. You can see here the project overview. Now this project overview, what happens? The project overview, we will write down each and everything related to project, right? Each and everything is related to project. So we will put down all these things so that in future there should be no confusion. Okay, So project overview defines about the project, what type of project is it, and right. So now after this project overview, you will see about client, who the client is. Okay, then you will see why client wants to switch the Fusion on NetSuite. Now see, whenever we prepare any document, so for whom we are going to work and all these things, right? Now you can put the clients wants to switch, why this client wants to switch. Okay, so you have to put down the reasons also. Okay, now here the company has recently expanded its business by acquiring a new company in India, and since there is no operation, they are now operating in India and all these things, right? Whatever you want to add, you can add it. Then you will see here the project scope. Yes, project scope, what we are going to provide, what we are going to provide in the second attempt, right? And finally what we are going to provide in final attempt. Okay, now here you will see in scope and outscope. Outscope, whatever we are not going to provide, or whatever wherever some expense is required, you have to provide the expense. Fine. Then you will see here current versus proposed process. Here it is, current versus proposed process. So see here, current versus proposed, right? Then what we have done here, look at this. On this left side there is a current process, and current here right side it is a current process, and then here you will see the proposed process. COA also same thing. If the COA is not able to sorry, in this COA, if you have to upload this, you have to define this here like this in the chart of it. Okay, then accounting period also you have to define. Okay, then currency information, many times there is only one currency, but in case of different currency there is a facility. Then you will see here the power flow. Okay, now here you will see GL process workflow, right? As soon as you create a workflow process, immediately the will start showing the data. Now let's come to the point. Go to see P2P side, right? Now you will see here the charts. Now I am explaining here the order to cash process, right? Order to cash. So in this way, this complete chart shows without writing much, so many things. CSV upload, then the creation of sales order, then order validation, then sufficient inventory. If yes, then order approval 3 level, right? Order approval 3 level. Otherwise again go to P2P. Okay, then you will see here release for shipping. Let me make it a little bigger in size. Now you will see here release for shipping, item fulfillment, right? And after this item fulfillment, inventory to customer, right? AR aging report, whatever we need to create, and later on this year to year, right? So whatever you have to explain, then you have to draw the flow charts also. Now you will see here next is, this is for P2P data migration process. I have explained here full data migration process, right? First of all, what we need, client will download the data in Excel sheet, storing the data in a staging area. Then is the data consistent? Here you will see manage massaging the data. Massaging the data means required when the Excel sheet is having so many errors in that. Okay, then you will see here messaging of data, messaging the data, put the message the data in uploading staging area. All these things are done. Then document parameters. Document parameters, we will see that critical, high and medium. Okay. Then you will see here document required, whatever the documents required, right? Look at this here first. Okay, here all the documents, look at this, existing enterprise solutions, right? So you can see here all type of documents. Then you will see the resources deployed on it. And finally, limitation of the target system. Suppose once the calendar is created in PL and ledgers are created, then the client calendar can't be changed, right? Instead, you have the to create a new paper entry. So we have to define the limitations of the target system also. Then hardware and software requirements, and then the browser requirements. Right? So in this way, you will see the assumptions, the sign off sections, glossary, everything is done. Okay. Now you will see a sample BRD template walkthrough. Now I am going to walk you through a sample BRD document. Now here how BRD templates walk through. Look at this. If the requirement is 001, so auto approve if the sales order is less than 10,000. Otherwise source is sales ad, right? Fit gap. Then you will see the second requirement, notify finance at 0, right? Or 1 rupees lead. Then this is on second priority. And the third is that we know, right? So whatever the requirements are there, templates walk through. These are the templates, right? These are the templates that we have to follow. After that, best practices for writing BRDs, right? So use clear, ambiguous language, unambiguous language, number all the requirements, always validate requirements with subject matter experts and include visuals, flowcharts, everything, right? Avoid mixing design with requirement. Keep it what, not how. Keep it what, not how. Okay. So summary. Finally, BRD foundations of ERP NetSuite project. Sections included executive summary, scope, stakeholder requirements. A BA must gather, write, read validations of BA. Right. So tools, Word, Excel, Confluence, Lucid chart, right? For example, flows, right? So get stakeholder sign off to log the requirement, to log the scope and move to design, right? So this is the responsibility of the business user. So guys, today we have seen what is business analyst task during this phase of the project, right? Okay. And in our tomorrow session, we will see functional requirement document, right? FRD, functional requirement document. Okay. And those who are new to this channel, I recommend you to subscribe my channel. You will get the notification of the latest news. Okay guys, today we are closing here only, and tomorrow we will see the functional requirement document. Okay. Okay guys, thanks for attending the webinar. Thank you.